What is going on, everybody, and welcome back into another preview episode, a new series here that we are doing every single week of the season with me, your boy Patriots Global, and of course, Rob from Instagram at Patriots7, as you can see his handle over there. Best content.
Yo, Colby,
on
you
Instagram.
muted, bro?
Do you hear me? You guys hear me? Rob, do you hear me? Hey, look, you guys, we were fine before the stream started.
Are you still muted?
Guys, do you hear us in the chat? Real quick, let me know so I know that I'm not bugging out here. Guys, do you hear me? Let's see in the chat real quick. I don't want to keep going before I know that you guys can hear in the chat. What's good to everybody? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay, so it looks like you guys can hear me. So I think it might be a Rob problem. All right, well, you guys can hear me. We see Alfredo coming in. Kill Cam said you guys can hear me. So I think it might be a Rob problem. So while Rob figures that out, not too sure what happened all of a sudden. Not the way to start the stream. Guys, we were literally fine 5 minutes before. But guys, we are going to be bringing you these preview games all year long. You guys know me. You guys know Rob. We do post games over the last couple of years. And this year, we are doing something different. This year, we are giving you guys previews just like we did last week when we previewed the game against the Raiders. So there's a lot to get into, okay? I feel like we need to talk about the state of the New England Patriots, the state of the Miami Dolphins. I think that these are two very different teams than we have seen in the past. And of course, then we have to talk about the matchups, the Patriots offense. And I'll go full screen until we get Rob back. Guys, I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of shows have issues with StreamYard all of a sudden. So I don't even think it's Rob. I think it's just issues with StreamYard right now. But the Patriots offense against the Dolphins defense, and then the Patriots defense against the Raiders offense. So we'll wait for Rob to get in here. Oh, let's see. We just got him back. Let's see.
What
Rob,
the hell just happened, bro? What was
I'm
that?
telling you, it's StreamYard. I'm telling you. I've been on like 3 different
We just got done talking about this. I couldn't hear you at all. So I was like, oh, yeah, are you talking? Are you talking? I sound silly. Dude,
literally like 3 different shows I was on this week, and they all had some type of issue with StreamYard. So it definitely wasn't you, but I'm glad that we got this figured out. But Rob, I just basically set up the intro, and what I want to do here before we really start breaking things down and getting into the X's and O's is I want to talk about the state of both the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins, because I think that the narrative going into this game is that there's no possible way the Patriots win this game. They haven't won in Miami since the Antonio Brown, Tom Brady days in 2019. That was the last time that the New England Patriots won in Miami. Okay, there's this some type of curse that the Patriots have when they go there, and there's just some type of curse that the Miami Dolphins have had on the New England Patriots really ever since that game, the Miami Miracle, where Gronk had the bad leverage there on the tackle, and they end up winning the game on that kickoff return. I don't even want to talk about that, but nonetheless, Rob, this is not the same New England Patriots. Okay, the team that Tua owns, right? That was Bill Belichick's team. This is a new regime. We're on the 3rd regime, okay? If you want to say that Tua owned Bill Belichick, okay. If you want to say that Tua owned Drake Maye in the 1 year that he was here, okay. But this is a new regime. It is restarting. You cannot tell me that because of history, that's why the Dolphins are going to beat the Patriots, okay? It is a new head coach. It is a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator. 50% of the roster was turned over this offseason. You got new guys in the front office. This is reset, okay? And the thing is that, yes, Tua is undefeated against the Patriots, but Mike Vrabel, during his time as a head coach for the Tennessee Titans, is undefeated against Tua. So it feels like we actually have a competent coaching staff that has had success against Tua in the past and is now coming here into New England. If you look at the New England Patriots, Robin, let's start off with them. There's a lot of hype about this team in the offseason. A lot of people saying that there's the potential that they could be a dark horse playoff team if they really are firing on all cylinders. What is your thoughts on the New England Patriots, where they currently are after a disappointing week 1 loss to the Raiders?
I think we're still in that whole, like, this is a brand new team. Like, we cannot just be like, oh, yeah, because of what we heard about the hype in the offseason. We've been told that this team was going to be great, right? The thing is, Josh McDaniels' offense takes a little bit to learn. It's not something, and Josh McDaniels commented on it. He thinks Drake Maye is going to be great. He thinks He's going to be special. But these things take time. You didn't mention how young he is. But with this team, man, I don't expect them to just immediately jump into being good. The Patriots in the past have been known to start off slow, and those teams turn off great. I also don't want to overblow losing week 1. So that's not going to determine whether or not we're going to be a good team or not. And this game, you were talking about like the teams of the past losing to Tua. Like you said, this is a brand new team. I'm not really scared of this Miami team. There's too much dysfunction on the other side of the football.
Yeah, when I look at the current state of the New England Patriots, one of my downs, okay, and I want to make this clear before I say it, is that I love my Patriots family, and I'm so damn grateful for everybody, but I believe that everybody in
Stop
their
with the
life,
negativity already. It's week 1.
Everybody outside of football, everybody in their life in general, they need somebody who will love them, who will ride for them, but they need someone that behind the scenes is going to keep it real with them and not just tell them what they want to hear. I'm going to be that guy for Patriots fans, okay? We need to not be Jets fans because there's too many Patriots fans out there being Jets fans. And what I mean by that is when you're winning and before the season starts and you're adding all these pieces, it's playoff talk and Super Bowl talk, and then you lose one game and you start to look
fire Mike Vrabel.
Fire Mike Vrabel. It's Drake
such
Maye
asinine comments I've seen.
It's get rid of Josh McDaniels. I mean, just the state of half this fan base is already in such a bad place. And guys, we have to understand that this is a new regime. And I understand that not winning over the last few years, not having won a postseason game since Super Bowl 53, which is a long time. Okay, it's 2018. I get it. But we have to understand that this is a different regime. This is a different regime than what we had in 2023. Damn, this is a different regime than what we had even last year in 2024. So with that being said, we have to be patient. It doesn't go from the Bill Belichick era to the Drake Maye era, now to Mike Vrabel, and it's all on the same path. The second that you reset the culture and the staff, you're resetting the time frame that you're on. And I do think that people forget this. Again, we didn't just turn over 50% of this roster this offseason, but we have a new head coach. We
have
captains.
A new
offensive coordinator. We have a new defensive coordinator. We have brand new captains. Drake Maye's in a brand new system.
Instilling a new culture, bro.
That it was going to be perfect week 1. I'm not too sure what to say. And look, here's the other thing too, is that we won week 1 last year under Drake Maye on the road against a pretty decent team in the Cincinnati Bengals. Guess what? We ended up winning 4 games for the rest of the season. Week 1 doesn't matter. It doesn't describe, it doesn't dictate what your team is going to look like. You could lose week 1 and then end up to the Super Bowl. How many times have we seen it with the Patriots? How many times have we seen it with the Kansas City Chiefs? So I'm just saying that I think that Patriots fans, guys, stay bought in. You can criticize this team 100%, and they deserve to do so. Me and Rob do it all the time, okay? Me and Rob literally did it post-game last week. That's okay, but don't jump off the bandwagon of this team. Don't give up on this team. Don't start calling for people's jobs because it didn't look good in one game. Give it a season, and at the end of the season, I'm not even saying give up then, but then we can reassess. But while we're reassessing the entire season, after one lost game at home under a brand new regime is just something that I don't understand.
I would give it 8 games. If you want to give some type of assessment, give it like at least 8 games. Like this is a brand new team, brand new culture. Like we said, brand new captains. You're instilling and you're instilling something new. Like this thing's not going to just automatically pick up. Like Stephon Diggs got like what 40% of this. Like he got like no snaps. Like and what people like Kyle Williams got like a couple plays. Like
7 snaps. Okay.
Like how do you expect? Like because right now, like what has Belichick said so many times, and I think the Patriots fans should know this by now. This should be programmed into your brains that the real football begins in November. You get to find out what type of team you are Thanksgiving. We don't know what this team is. We don't know. It may be a high flying offense. That'd be nice, but we don't know that. We don't know if they're going to be a run first team. We don't know that. We're still trying to, this is really just like the honeymoon phase. We're trying to figure out what this team is and what direction we're going to be moving going forward. Because hell, Travion Henderson could turn into be a bust. And we thought he was great during the preseason, but we don't know these things. We don't know these answers. So we got to try to feel this out for a little bit, and then we can make our assessment.
Rob, it's not even us, right? Like, and you're right. We don't know what these things are. But guess what? Some of these players don't know what they are. This coaching staff doesn't know what they are. So how are we supposed to know if the coaching staff doesn't know? A lot of these guys have never worked in this system before. A lot of these guys, have never been in the NFL before. It's going to take time. Okay, so I think we understand where the New England Patriots currently are, and I really hope that Patriots fans out there, I just want to reiterate this one more time. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to voice your frustrations in the chat.
Definitely voice your frustration.
This is a safe place to do so. But what I'm saying is that don't stop watching the games. Don't stop caring about the team. Don't stop learning about this team after week one and a disappointing loss, okay? We need to show up even when this team is down bad, damn it. One thing that frustrates me, and I know we have a lot to get into today, so I'm going to make this quick.
Screw that fair weather bullshit.
One thing that upsets me is that we are the most successful team in NFL history, okay?
Period.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you.
Say it again.
I'm about to be 24, so I'm young, but my entire life I grew up with Tom Brady and success, and I get it. You know, I graduated high school and it was a culture shock, not just for my entire life, but even from a football perspective. We stopped winning. That's all I ever knew, but I didn't go anywhere. And we should not go anywhere as a fan base. What hurts my heart the most is that I go on the AFC East roundtable and the Patriots every single week. There's a poll on what team are you representing, and we are always in last place. It just feels like when we're losing, the fan base gives up. They don't care. They're not showing up anymore. And say what we want about Jets fans. One thing I'll say about Jets fans is as crazy as that team are, they show up rain or shine, good or bad. And you know what? I'm going to reiterate it. We are the best team in NFL history, damn it. I don't care if we don't go to another playoff game for the rest of my life. We are still the best team in NFL history.
Don't say that.
Hey, look,
take that back.
Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But like, look, guys, if you get sad, go back and watch the 6 Super Bowls that we were gifted. If you're sad, look at the rings, because the teams that are in the playoffs, even the Buffalo Bills right now, for as dominant as they've been in the NFL and the AFC East, guess what? They don't have a damn ring to show for it. So still be proud of this team. Still rep this team, because I promise you that when one day we all perish and we all leave this world, we are still going to be the best team in the NFL history, even if for the rest of our lives, we don't win another Super Bowl. That is something to hang your hat on, Patriots fans. Don't go anywhere. But I do want to go ahead.
Bars.
I needed to get that one off my chest.
Nah, man, you're right. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you right now, all these people are talking negative. See, Colby's not petty. I am. I will have all the receipts. So anybody that's leaving comments on the YouTube videos and on my Patriots page and saying we're crap and this, that, and the other, just understand I screenshotted everything. So if we come back, don't come back on the bandwagon. If we start chugging along, stay where you are. Stay on that side of the fence.
So now to get into the state of the Miami Dolphins, because Rob, we know who the Miami Dolphins are at this point, and last year they took a step back. Okay, this is a Miami Dolphins team that historically, since Tua and Mike McDaniels have gotten together, they are a great team in the beginning of the season. They are a great team week one. Historically speaking, since they got together, they are one of the best teams in the league when it comes to week one and when it comes to playing in September. But it's as the season progresses, the Miami Dolphins fall off. They cannot beat a team in the cold. They cannot beat a team who is over 500. They can't win a postseason game. But we saw something different last year, and it transitioned into this year. Okay, they got whooped so bad last week. They are 4th in the AFC East right now. They scored 8 points against the Indianapolis Colts, and Daniel Jones looked so good that he got a league-wide nickname of Indiana Jones. That's how bad they got whooped. One of the worst games in all of week one of the 2025 NFL season. It just feels like this Miami Dolphins team is headed for a complete rebuild, to where I'm not sure if Mike McDaniels makes it through a whole season. I'm not sure how much of their coaching staff makes it through a whole season. We heard reports this week that literally after week one, guys, after week one, your first game, your first loss of the season, the Miami Dolphins are holding player-only meetings. What that tells me is that Mike McDaniels is not building a culture that these guys can rally around. They don't believe in Mike McDaniels. If this Dolphins team is going to do anything this season, it is going to be because the players found a way to rally around such a sucky environment and build a culture together. But it is not going to be because of the coaching staff. And it's really, really hard to win games, as we've seen as Patriots fans in recent years, when there's no leadership and there's toxicity. And right now in Miami, it is nothing but toxicity. Rob, what are your thoughts on the current state of Miami?
It's not even just toxicity. Like, their own quarterback, who's supposed to be the guy that is like, that's your franchise, is taking no accountability for his play. And he played like terrible. Tyreek Hill looks, I mean, we saw in the past how he was just like, he wanted the trade rumors in the offseason. Mike McDaniel is a laughing stock right now. Like, everybody's looking at him like, oh, he's supposed a genius, right? His own players don't believe in him. Like, if there was a game, brother, that was right for the picking, this is it. Because this when you get Daniel Jones go 7 for 7, and that's 7 drives, seven scores, no QB has in the century has done that. Daniel Jones, guys, the New York Giants reject quarterback Daniel Jones. I mean, it's a pretty bad look.
It's been, I mean, we all know the statistic. It's kind of going viral this week, but it's been a full calendar year. A full calendar year since Tyreek Hill has put up a game with over 30 yards. Oh, that's absolutely insane. Now, Rob, like, we don't want to clown Tyreek Hill for that, because for our luck, it's going to be the week that, you know, he goes off
exactly
there. So I'm not clowning him by any means. It's just a very shocking stat, because I believe that 2 of 4 the Miami Dolphins, that's been their quarterback. It was only a couple of years ago when he was voted by NFL players themselves as the #1 player in all of the National Football League. When they cannot get Tyreek Hill going, that offense does not operate well. You had former Miami Dolphins players coming out after Miami's week 1 loss against the Colts last week and saying, look, if a team is able to shut down Tyreek Hill and take away Tua's first read, he panics and he has nowhere to go. And it just feels like, with Tyreek Hill feeling like he's mentally checked out, all of these trade rumors, he has off-the-field issues also going, that is contributing to where Miami currently is. And I just feel like if the Patriots are ever going to turn this narrative around, if they're ever going to beat Miami in Miami, this is the best opportunity that they have ever had to do so, and they have to capitalize. And Rob, this is another opportunity. This is a game where Mike Vrabel has an opportunity to do something that he not only told this fan base in his introductory press conference, but something that he told his players. And that is the goals. What do they want to do early on? What do they want to establish and be remembered for? Early on, take advantage
of bad teams.
And you also want to start competing for the division. If this team, and we said this last week, if this team is going to somehow compete, not necessarily for the AFC East, because I don't think they're competing for #1, but if they want to try to compete there for #2, finish as high as possible, it's going to be important for them to win in division games, especially ones against Miami. So with that being said, this is an opportunity for Mike Vrabel to do exactly what he said. Last week, he wasn't able to do that. But this week, it is an opportunity for him to do it. I think it would be a bad look if the Patriots go 0-2 and through 2 weeks, they haven't been able to do what Mike Vrabel said that they wanted to establish: winning at home, taking advantage of bad football teams, and being competitive within the division. This is an opportunity to turn that narrative around. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, you took the words out of my mouth, man. This is a team that their net efficiency per ESPN calculates offense, defense, and special teams out of 100 is a 1.7. Like, this is a bad team, and we have to take advantage of this. And this is the week. They got a lot of dysfunction. Their even their head coach, I don't believe even believes in himself anymore. He's on the chopping block. Tyreek Hill's off the field issues. Tua's not taking accountability. Like if there was ever a time to basically kick them when they're down, and not only kick them when they're down, this can build off. That could be a win. This could translate to a win later in the season when they come back to New England. You punch them in the mouth. Punch them in the mouth now. And deliver the knockout blow. Me personally, man, I am petty. I want, because the way that McDaniels and that offense is, and how much they've been giving us trouble with Tua for, like, what was it? McDaniels 5-1 against the Patriots.
Yeah,
they've been clowning us. I want to give them the walking papers. Give them their freaking walking papers, because this is it. And whatever's going on, and create more drama for them.
I agree, man. Shout out to the Bills fans in here, too. Shout out to the Raiders fans who are in here, too. I appreciate you guys for watching. Even though we're not playing.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
If you're in here watching and this isn't even your team, man, really, really appreciate you for guys.
I mean, it means we're making pretty good content then.
Shout out Steve Van, who comes in and says, I've been a fan for 16 years, man. If you've been a fan and you're still here rocking with your team, you're a real Patriots fan, man. That's what it is all about, man. And I just want to reiterate the fact that earlier, we were certainly not hating on anybody. We were not calling out Patriots fans in a negative way. It's just saying, guys, like, we are the best football team in NFL history. Like, let's rally together. Let's show that. Let's build this family back up, man. So, wanted to give a big shout out to my boy Trey Rules, big time supporter here at Patriots Global. Says, just a quick reminder that Maye was already known as a very raw and developmental player coming out of North Carolina. Trey hits the nail on the head there. Let's keep in mind, too, is that, like, Jaden Daniels didn't necessarily have the highest ceiling out of all the quarterbacks, but he had the highest floor because he had, 7 years of experience. Drake Maye, on the other hand, he was coming in, him and JJ McCarthy, as the youngest quarterbacks. He was 21 coming in from the draft. And the other thing, too, is that Drake Maye didn't get a whole lot of experience playing football at the high school level either due to COVID. So with that being said, we knew he was going to be raw, but he showed all the God-given talents if his mechanics and footwork could be worked out. And that is still the case. It's going to take time. But if this team, if this coaching staff more specifically, can have Drake Maye work on the things that he struggled with in his footwork and his consistency and his accuracy, then he has all the attributes to be a top 5 quarterback in this league. And some might say that that's high, but that's not even an opinion. Okay.
Is it really high though? Because like dating back to college, and maybe it was high school. I don't know how his high school was, but he has had how many offensive coordinators, how many new head coaches, how many, like, his offensive lines have been historically bad. Like, that's going to North Carolina, UNC, all the way up until now. He is now coming into an offense where, I mean, even if they're average, that's a step up. Like, and then having a semblance of an offense. He didn't have nothing. He's always had to carry it. And you know what I like about him? And that I'm happy that he's actually being put through the ringer right now in terms of adversity. So at least we know that if adversity strikes in the future, he's going to be able to overcome it. This guy has, I mean, like, look at what he has at receiver now. Yeah, it's a decent cast of guys, but he's never really had anybody of this magnitude. What he had Josh Downs maybe at UNC.
Hey, Josh Downs looked damn good. Bryson Nesbitt, the tight end, made him look pretty damn good too. Bryson Nesbitt, went undrafted?
But like, he's always been in front of the camera. He never blamed anybody. There's plenty of interviews where he didn't blame his offensive line. He didn't point the finger at nobody else. He took accountability for the losses, and that's what you want as a leader.
I mean, you had Sean McDermott, the Buffalo Bills head coach, after their meeting last year, where the Patriots had a lead on the Buffalo Bills, not in that throwaway Week 18 game, but when it was actually Drake Maye against Josh Allen. That game was in Buffalo. The Patriots had a lead. The Patriots, if they had competent coaching, should have won that game. And you had Sean McDermott come out and say, I hope somebody trades for Drake Maye because I don't want this guy in the division. So you see the praise, and the praise was certainly there for a reason. Just got to be a little bit patient. I mean, it took Josh Allen how many years too? And I'm not trying to compare the two, but I'm just saying there are.
No, go ahead. Compare the two. Josh Allen was 50. Josh Allen was 56 completion percentage and 58 completion percentage. This guy had 65% last week. He's already doing a better job.
Rob, do you want to know how Drake Maye? I don't want to say can be Josh Allen because Josh Allen is like.
I think he doesn't have the frame.
Right now, the best quarterback in the league. So I don't want to say he can become Josh Allen, but how can he take the path of Josh Allen? If you look at it, Josh Allen's gotten better every single year because he was motivated to get better every single year. He was always working on his mechanics during the offseason. He became that leader. He was so focused on getting better every single year. And there's not a lot of quarterbacks that do so. I am what I am, and I'm going to accept that. It's like Tom Brady, right? Like Tom Brady, a 6th-round draft pick. He wasn't great, but Tom Brady got better as time went on because he was so focused every single year at never accepting where he was and always trying to get better. If Drake Maye can accept that mindset and continue to work in the regular season, in the offseason, at always trying to get better and never getting comfortable, then I think he can hit that ceiling. But that's how he's going to hit it. But big shout out to Trey, who comes back in here with the $5 donation and says, so if anyone already wanted to pull the plug on him this early in year 2, because there's still some growing pains, you're spoiled and impatient. I mean, I feel like Trey said it, okay? Trey, you left no breadcrumbs. You left no breadcrumbs on that one. I sometimes, guys, and I've been a victim of this. We become a victim of the moment, okay? And we get frustrated, and that's okay. But after our frustration, after we cool down, it's important to let ourselves sink back into reality. And that's what I'm going to try to do for you, pull you back in. That's what Rob's going to do, and that's what our boy Trey's going to do. So shout out to Trey, man. That was an awesome back-to-back super chat. Shout out to my boy Alfredo, man. Shout out to my boy Alfredo, Raiders fan coming in here, supporting the channel. Says, AFC West Roundtable fan, Colby does a great job, Alfredo. I appreciate that. I guess I'm hating the chat now and then, so it means a lot, man. I'm certainly rooting for the Raiders to win the AFC West this year. So go out, beat the Chiefs twice, and go win that thing, man. Gino's a dog. Gino is an absolute dog.
I mean, if there was ever a year.
There's ever a year. Now's the chance. Come on, Alfredo. You got to do it, man. You got to do it this year. But looking into this game, I kind of want to transition back into it. Where the New England Patriots currently are in comparison to the Miami Dolphins. It's week 1, so obviously take these rankings with a grain of salt. But the New England Patriots are currently ranked 26th overall according to PFF. Offense is ranked 16th. Defense is ranked 27th. And the Patriots special teams is tied for 28th. The Miami Dolphins are ranked 32nd, dead last in the NFL overall. Offense is tied for 28th. Defense is 32nd, and special teams is 26th. The New England Patriots are also tied for 24th in points scored and are tied for 14th in points allowed from a defensive standpoint. Rob, one thing that I do also want to get into is I want to get into this injury report because I think before we're able to really break down the X's and O's, Patriots offense on Dolphins defense and the Dolphins offense on Patriots defense, I think we have to know who's going to be playing on both sides of the football here for these teams. So let's transition into the injury report. One second, Rob. That's I gave everybody a little bit of a sneak peek. I accidentally put on the wrong one. That's for my show. This is mine and Rob's show. There we go. So this is the injury report that we have. This is the current updated injury report. We have a couple of guys out already for New England. So just starting off here on the top for New England, Christian Barmore, Wednesday, not on the injury report. Thursday, back on the injury report, a limited participant, but supposedly not injury related. One thing we know about Christian Barmore, they've been doing this all offseason long, is still coming back from these blood clots. They're being very cautious with him. Like they're giving him some of these veteran rest days still. And I think that's something we're going to see all year long. But on Friday, he was a full participant. And we'll talk about this when the time comes along. But the interior of that defensive line is going to be pivotal if the Patriots are going to disrupt Tua. Christian Gonzalez, though, I think this was the big one that everybody was waiting for. I feel like Christian Gonzalez always has his best games when he's going up against Tyreek Hill, one of the few corners in the league that can really shut him down. And I feel like Gonzo always averages an interception at least against Miami. Unfortunately, did not practice this entire week. He has officially been listed as out for this game. Given some of the struggles the Patriots had, especially inconsistencies in the secondary last week, certainly not something you want. Rob, we know the statistic. 9 plays the Patriots defense gave up of 20 yards or more. If we're talking of 15 yards or more, it was like 10 or 11 plays. So
yeah, what's funny is that like if it was 19, it would have been 10. Because there was one play that was like 19 yards.
19 yards. It was literally 1 yard away from 10 plays of 20 yards or more.
Just think about that. Just put that in perspective, because like some quarterbacks get that in like that stat line in one game, and they got that in 20 yards.
Well, that's the thing, Rob, is I got a lot of questions on the AFC East roundtable on how did you allow Geno to go for almost 400 yards, but also how did Geno pass for almost 400 yards, but they didn't put up more points? And I was like, because the Patriots defense was a lot of bend but don't break. It's giving up splash plays, but then they clutched up most of the time. But we'll talk about that when we obviously get into the defense. Harold Landry did pop up on the injury report, a guy that balled out. The Patriots resurrected him last week. He's going to be a big piece all season long, but especially in this game. He was on the injury report this week with a foot injury, did not practice on Wednesday, and then was a limited participant on Thursday, but was a full participant here on Friday. So some good news for the Patriots. Morgan Moses, the veteran right tackle here, also dealing with a foot injury, non-participant on Wednesday, limited participant Thursday, limited participant Friday. Another guy that we saw this offseason getting a lot of veteran work. We didn't see him in the mix a whole lot, and I think part of why he wasn't great last week against the Raiders was because, again, they gave him so many rest days and so many days off that I think it's going to take Morgan Moses a little bit of time for him to play at his highest level. But even then, he's 34 years old.
I mean, they're saying that Marcus Bryant might play this game. So like we'll see. That'd be 3 rookie offensive linemen. I don't know how I feel about that.
Do you know who that's according to? By the way, I haven't even heard that one yet.
I just saw it somewhere. It might have been It might have been Andrew Callahan. I off the top of my head, I don't know. I'm not saying that's who it is. I think that's why.
Take it with a grain of salt for sure, but something to throw out there. And Rob, like that's not certainly unrealistic, because again, you look at this offseason and there were times that we thought, okay, Morgan Moses, they're probably just giving him veteran rest. And then Mike Vrabel's asked, I mean, look, Morgan Moses hasn't been out there a lot in training camp. Is it really just veteran rest? And Mike Vrabel was like basically alluding to the fact that it was a mix of both, a veteran rest and him dealing with something. So it sounds like maybe this offseason in practice, he did nick or deal with some type of injury. So you certainly hope as a limited participant that you do get Morgan Moses playing, because one thing I do believe in that Dolphins defense is that they do have a good defensive line. Like they do have a good pass rush. There's a lot of veterans there. If you have a rookie, 3 rookies, especially on that offensive line, that is certainly something that they could take advantage of. So having Morgan Moses is going to be important for the Patriots. If I had to put my money on it, I feel like he'll ultimately end up playing, but there is definitely a world in which he could be a surprise guy that ultimately does end up being inactive. But Keion White, okay, he's been dealing with an illness this week, was a non-participant all week. He also is officially out in this game. Now, if you asked me last year, I would have said this is actually a pretty decent loss for the Patriots. Right now, I can't say that this really is a big
He's on the second unit now, so it's not, and especially when you got a guy like Harold Landry that like, according to PFF, he leads the league in pressures, 8 pressures, and what is it, 2.5 sacks or is it 3 sacks? Because on PFF at one point in time it said 3.
2.5 sacks, 3 tackles for loss.
Okay, well, he's first in pretty much every category. So being that Keion White's out, at least if we have Harold Landry out there, it softens the blow, because he's balling out. No other way. And we did that against a good Raiders team.
Honestly, Rob, I would say it more than softens the blow, because last week Keion White barely played. Like you said, he was demoted to the second team defense a few weeks ago.
But we know Keion White's a beast. We know he's a beast.
In the limited snaps that he played, he did nothing. 0 pressures. He didn't get to the quarterback. He didn't have a hurry. He did absolutely nothing. Honestly, I do wonder that if the Patriots get something in return for Keion White, that whether it's at the trade deadline,
I think they will.
They move on.
I can see it happening. He definitely has. He has a lot of upside, man. Yeah, I just think that, like, he has a lot of potential. I think the problem is, man, when you get like demoted to that level, like he is a guy that was a starter for us for a little while. So him being demoted, that can kind of maybe mess with your psyche. So maybe, I mean, at one point in time, he was almost borderline saying he was checking out and he wanted to get traded. It almost sounded like he was wanted to be traded at one point, if you remember.
Yeah, there was a report on that this offseason that he requested.
So at the end of the day, man, I mean, might be a moving piece. I would rather keep him around, me personally, until he gets into like a contract year. But is this a contract year for him? I don't think it is.
He was in 2023, so no, I think there's still one more year left.
Okay, so I would like to keep him around so he puts more tape out there. So if you do eventually trade him, you can get at least a decent value for him.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the upside. Even last year, Keon White was like top 5 in sacks for a few weeks and then just completely fell off. And I wonder how much of that is also,
I think it was 2 weeks,
and him checking out. But again, I can't say that it is a loss for the Patriots when he didn't record a single statistic in the opportunities that he was given last week. And he's not a starter. He's not a starter for this Patriots defense. Like, you always want the depth there just in case, but I can't say it's a big loss in terms of what the Patriots are going to get in terms of product on the field. But Kayshon Boutte, who balled out for the Patriots last week with over 100 yards, that's back-to-back games for him for New England, over 100 yards. He's dealing with that shoulder injury. We saw him go down with that early in the game last week, but ultimately came back. Was a limited participant Wednesday and Thursday, but a full participant on Friday. Good news for the Patriots there. Marte Mapu, who there's some discussion, could this guy potentially start getting some looks if the Patriots are looking for linebackers who are good in coverage, something they struggled with, their linebackers playing in coverage last week. Maybe he gets some opportunities at some point. He was on the injury report with a neck injury, the same injury that he's been on the injury report for really about a year or two now. At some point, you kind of start worrying about Marte Mapu, and is this going to be something that lingers on throughout his career that potentially limits him throughout his NFL career? But limited participant all this week. I do expect him to play, but ultimately we'll see when that time does come along. Christian Ellis, another linebacker here for the Patriots, dealing with an injury. He's in with a shoulder injury. Limited participant Wednesday and Thursday. Full participant Friday. And then Charles Woods, who the Patriots picked up off of waivers just a couple of weeks ago, the former Ram. Didn't see him last week, dealing with a groin injury, was also dealing with a concussion. He was a full participant all this week. So as long as he's not a healthy scratch, could potentially see him. Rob, any just last thoughts on this Patriots injury report before we get into the Dolphins?
I mean, I would have liked Christian Gonzalez to be back, but guys, if he's not practicing by Wednesday, this guy's been out since what, like July I think. Yeah,
July 28th.
It just doesn't look good. So, like at this point, like just keep him out for a little bit. That's probably the biggest one that I'm not really worried about the rest of it, man. Maybe right tackle Morgan Moses, but I mean, I think Marcus Bryant will fill in pretty well. If he has to.
Marcus Bryant, I think will if he holds up, I mean, he's going up against some absolute dogs. So if he does have to play and he does well, I actually feel pretty good at the very least that he's going to be a positive swing tackle of the future. But shout out to my boy Richie Fresh, Bills fan from the AFC East Roundtable, who comes in here and says, just want to show some love, boys. Beat the Fins. You know what, Rich? Say a prayer for me tonight. But other than that, man, we got you. We absolutely got you. But let's go ahead and let's move into this Miami Dolphins injury report. Last thing I'll say here about the New England Patriots, Charles Woods. This is a guy that I really do think with Gonzo out could get some potential playing time. Didn't get a whole lot of snaps on the defensive side of the football in the regular season for the Rams in 2024, but over the last 2 preseasons actually showed to be really good in coverage, and more specifically was really good in defending the run. So definitely fits the style of play the Patriots want from their cornerbacks, but mainly a special teamer. Patriots dealt with some issues with their gunners on special teams last week outside of, Brendan Schooler. Who is that second guy going to be? I think it'll be Charles Woods. But moving on here to Miami, they are dealing with a lot of injuries. They also officially have a few guys out. You got Ethan Bonner. I'm going to call him that because I don't want to potentially say it wrong, and then we're getting demonetized. The cornerback dealing with a hamstring injury, didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday, limited participant Friday. He is doubtful to play in this game. Ashton Davis, the safety, a guy that I actually do like for Miami, dealing with a knee injury, limited participant all week. He is questionable. Then you got Storm Duck, okay, one of the coolest names. Not a great cornerback, though.
He's terrible. I kind of wish he was playing this game.
He's not a good corner, but Rob, he's one of their starting corners. So the fact that he's one of their starting cornerbacks, I think says a lot about where that secondary is for Miami, more specifically
they're
where
bad.
their depth is. But he's dealing with an ankle injury. He's officially out, didn't practice all week. Austin Jackson, the tackle here for Miami, dealing with a toe injury, didn't practice all week. He's officially out. Defensive tackle Benito Jones, oblique injury, didn't practice all week. He's out for Miami. Jalen Waddle, dealing with a shoulder injury, limited participant Wednesday, Thursday, full participant Friday. He'll certainly be good to go. Darren Waller, okay, the guy that they brought in, and they felt good moving on from Jonnu Smith because they got Darren Waller. This guy still not practicing. He is officially out. And then Jalen Wright, the running back, who's a rookie last year, dealing with a knee injury, didn't practice Wednesday, limited participant Thursday and Friday. He's also going to be doubtful. He had some really good moments against New England. So a lot of injuries piling up for Miami with starting caliber players on the defensive and offensive side of the football. I think the biggest thing here, Rob, is there's a lot to take away from this, but the biggest thing is that they're going to have a brand new right side of that offensive line. If there's
can you tell me where Harold Landry lines up on?
Last week, he lined up.
He lines up on their right side.
Okay.
So he's going to look. I'm already predicting it now. He's going to have another 2 sacks at least. He's going against possibly the right guard. Keon Smith is not even an NFL starter. This guy gave up in the preseason 8 pressures for 3 sacks. He's freaking terrible. And then the other guy, was it Brahmer or he played pretty good, but he only had 10 snaps. So this whole right side of the offensive line for the Dolphins, I mean, if you have Christian Barmore and Harold Landry line up on that side, they're going to go to town. It's going to be Tua's going to have to get that football out quick. Because, I mean, Harold Landry's ghost move is disgusting, and he's going to get to him. And like you said, I think we revitalized his career because his pace is going to be higher than his 10.5 sacks, I believe, is his most sacks he's ever had in a season. He may break that, and he's already off to a good start. And so I think he's going to have a field day.
Shout out to Nikhil in the chat who says, I want Waddle to be out, please. I want a Pats dub. Well, Nikhil, unfortunately, he was a full participant on the final day of practice, so I do expect.
However, Tyreek Hill did leave early in that game, and obviously to pair with the visible frustration he has on the sideline, so he may. I don't know. Was he a full participant?
Tyreek?
Yeah, because they said that he had a possible concussion.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wasn't even on the injury report, so I would assume he's good if they're not even.
I guess he's good. I guess he's good. I don't know.
But Rob, any final thoughts on what you're seeing from Miami's injury report here?
I mean, dude, their pass blocking grade is terrible. I'm looking at all this right now. The right side of the offensive line, the guy 32nd overall. They have a 54.6 PFF grade on run blocking and 35th percentile and 64.7. They're just not good on the offense on that side of the offensive line. So we have to take advantage of that.
I agree, but let's go ahead and let's transition into this Patriots offense against Miami's defense. Now, we said the same thing against the Raiders last week. This should be an opportunity to pass the ball, and they passed the ball a lot. They passed the ball way more than they should, but they still didn't find consistency because the Raiders were able to get some pressure on Drake Maye, more specifically in the second half. And that is one area that I said earlier that the Miami Dolphins do have some guys. They have former Patriots friend. They got Matthew Judon there on the edge. They got Bradley Chubb. They got Phillips. I mean, they have a lot of depth there at the edge. I think in the interior of their defensive line, they got some guys for sure. Some guys that the Patriots will have to look out for. So I think that's one area.
Chop Robinson
off the edge. He does play a little on the interior at times, but he's mainly there off the edge. But they got some guys there on the interior. Kenneth Grant is a rookie that they brought in. That's just one of the guys they have there. So if that's going to be an area that Miami's able to take advantage of, it certainly could take over the game because we saw that even with the Raiders last week. But I think it starts here with Drake Maye. Okay, that's going to be the big question for the Patriots. That's where all eyes are going to be. Going into halftime last week against the Raiders, Drake Maye was actually on pace for a really, really good game. He was at 150 yards, no turnovers, 1 passing touchdown, and a 75% completion percentage. It was after the interception that lost all momentum, and this offense just kind of went off the rails. He did have inconsistencies overthrowing guys. When I look at Drake Maye, I do believe that it isn't because of the pass blocking. I'm not saying that the pass blocking for the Patriots is absolutely perfect, but Drake Maye last week, he almost had an average of 3 seconds to throw. He was at 2.93 seconds average time to throw. That is a big time upgrade over what he had last year, but still had issues. Why? Because it's the mechanics. It's the footwork for him that is delivering these inaccurate passes. That's something that I'm going to be looking for Drake Maye. But the biggest thing is just do not turn the football over. Point blank. I don't want to see you put the football on the ground. I don't want to see you have the ball intercepted. You need to play a clean football game. Rob, I said this to you last week, and I said, you can be the ultimate gunslinger, put up 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, but if you got 5 interceptions, 5 turnovers also, you're not going to be a starting quarterback in the league, and Jameis Winston is a perfect example of that, especially with how this team wants to win football games, especially with how Josh McDaniels runs this offense. You cannot be turning the football over. So that's what I'm looking for from Drake Maye. I want to know that Drake Maye can dink and dunk if need be. I know he wants to push the ball downfield. I know he has the arm strength, but guess what? So does every single defense in the entire National Football League. Miami is going to try to take everything away over top for the Patriots because they know that's what makes Drake Maye comfortable. They're going to say, if you are going to beat us, Drake Maye, we're going to force you to dink and dunk and play in the short to intermediate section of the field, an area in which he has struggled with because of that consistency. So what are you looking for from Drake Maye in this game?
Well, speaking of Drake Maye, a target that I think that I want him to get locked up with, I kind of hope that Kyle Williams gets some play time this game, because you got 2 cornerbacks, Rasul Douglas and Jack Jones, that average so far this season over 16 yards per reception. They've been playing like hot boo-boo. So, I mean, this is right for the picking, man. You got to test these corners. I really would have liked if Storm Duck was playing. The guy's awful, but like also the Miami corners are playing awful. So he's just got it like what we say last week. We need to give him a gimme. We need to give him something in the flat, give him maybe a screen pass, let him get confident, and then build from there. So I personally, I think this is a week where I believe he may have 300-400 yards if everything goes right, because this Miami defense is not good.
I mean, you look at Miami's defense. I mean, we talked about it earlier. For whatever it's worth, it's 1 week, but they are 32nd in the NFL according to PFF, and that defense is also tied for 28th in the NFL in points allowed. So certainly something to keep an eye on. But transitioning a little bit to this offensive line, because I think we kind of know what we're expecting from Drake Maye. I think we all know what he needs to do. But this offensive line also needs to be better. And like we said, in terms of pass blocking, they were not bad. They were in the top 14th percentile of pass blocking through week 1. That's a massive.
I mean, Garrett Bradbury did his thing. Garrett Bradbury did his thing.
He was clean the entire game, which was shocking, but he was clean the entire game.
He wasn't known for pass blocking, by the way. He was known for run blocking.
Now, I mean, certainly it's 1 week, so take that
exactly. But he's going against wasn't he going against Adam Butler, who's a pretty damn good defensive lineman?
Man, he's good in pass rush.
He's a stud, especially when he does that spin move.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought it was a pretty good showing from him, but I think what we need to see is more consistency from the offensive line, and I think where it really got away for the offensive line, Rob, was in the second half, and more specifically in the fourth quarter. And there's a reason for that, right? Because you have how many rookies already playing on this offensive line? Your entire left side is rookies at left tackle and left guard with Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. Those are guys that are not used to playing this much football, right? Coming from the collegiate level, transitioning to the NFL, it's going to take some time. And I think that those guys were gassed. I don't think they've, really adapted to what the NFL is yet, and understandably so.
Welcome to the NFL.
They didn't really get, especially Will Campbell, didn't get a whole lot of playing time in the preseason also. So September, kind of the extension of the preseason there. You look at how this Patriots offensive line performed in week 1. These are the blocking cues according to PFF. Michael Onwenu, 1 quarterback hit, 2 pressures, 3 hurries, a 59.2 overall offensive grade. Jared Wilson had 2 quarterback hits, 4 hurries, 6 pressures, 1 penalty, a 51.8 offensive grade. Morgan Moses, 2 quarterback hits, 3 hurries, 5 pressures, and a 57.6 offensive grade. Will Campbell, 1 sack, 3 hurries, 4 pressures, 2 penalties, a 68.2 offensive grade. Garrett Bradbury, clean, 63 overall grade. Now we get into Ramondre Stevenson and the other guys who stay back to block that, we can talk about them later. They don't really matter right now. I just want to see consistency with the pass blocking, okay? Because it's great if you can play good football in the beginning to get off to a fast start, but as Mike Vrabel says, football games are won in the fourth quarter. They are won in the second half. You cannot come out and play your worst football in the second half, and especially in the fourth quarter. So with that being said, I want to see the longevity. I want to see them play cleaner football, especially when it comes to those penalties. Don't shoot yourself in the foot at the worst time. This certainly could be a close game. It could come down to the wire. And if they're going to do this thing where the offense or the offensive line has these inopportune penalties and it's setting the offense back in the fourth quarter and it's a 1-score game, chances are you're probably not going to come out with that win. So I want to see them be cleaner there. But I think what really hurt the Patriots was that run blocking. And it really surprised me. I think it surprised a lot of Patriots fans was because all offseason, all preseason, it was like, damn, this run blocking looks feisty. That pass blocking, though, that's a work in progress. And week 1, it was the exact opposite. These guys couldn't, push these defensive linemen forward. They couldn't push these linebackers forward. It felt like they weren't picking up the right blitzes. And I think what it comes down to, Rob, is it doesn't necessarily come down to the fact that there's no talent when it comes to run blocking on this O-line. But what it more so comes down to is the continuity. And I've said this so many times, but I will always say it as an example. The offensive line isn't about getting the most talented players out there, but it's about having the best.
Dude, you got to build chemistry.
Continuity, Rob. Do you remember in 2021 where Michael Onwenu was benched for Ted Karras? I'm sorry, I like Ted Karras, but Ted Karras is not a more talented guard than Michael Onwenu is. But it was better with the chemistry.
It worked.
The rest of the O-line and the continuity, and the Patriots offensive line proved tremendously. I think that's what this O-line needs. I don't want to see a change on this O-line unless it desperately needs to in a couple weeks. Right now, the biggest goal is just stick with it. Allow them to learn, build the chemistry, continuity, understanding this is who you're blocking, understanding this is who I'm passing the block off to, how I'm doing it, when I'm doing it. That's what's going to be most important for the Patriots. But nonetheless, the offensive line does need to play better when it comes to run blocking in this football game, because if it comes down to there's no run game again and Drake Maye has to pass the football for another 40 times and this offense is one-dimensional, the Patriots are not going to come out with this win. You have to establish a run game. This is a run-first offense. That is the identity of this team right now. That's what Josh McDaniels said. That's historically what Josh McDaniels does. The Patriots, again, were one-dimensional. They had no RPO game.
Couldn't open up the play action because the run game wasn't going. We're actually one of the worst in play action. We had one of the lowest rates in play action last week.
This team wants to run the football to open up the pass, and they were not able to do that. If they cannot establish running the football in football games,
can't open play action.
2025,
no RPOs.
This team is not going to win football games because they're not good enough right now. Drake Maye is not good enough. The receivers aren't good enough. The O-line is not good enough to be predictable and still beat a team passing the football. It's just not going to happen. So it's going to be absolutely pivotal that they get Ramondre Stevenson, TreVeyon Henderson going. It sounds like from what Josh McDaniels said, getting TreVeyon Henderson more involved and getting him going in this game is definitely going to be a vocal point. So let's transition into the run game here a little bit. What are you expecting from these backs?
I mean, it's still going to be tough sledding because that defensive line for the Miami Dolphins is good. But if we could turn out a couple runs of 3 or 4 yards and at least keep them on their heels and then open up the play action, it will help a lot. That way you can maybe send. I mean, we saw how many times did we see wheel routes with TreVeyon Henderson? Hey, I could see a wheel route touchdown this game. You know what? I'm calling. There's gonna be a wheel route touchdown. But I think personally, I think that this run, we're not gonna run for 100 yards. I don't see that. I see us steady pace, just keeping them on their heels a little bit.
And it's not going to be easy. I do want to make that
it's not
clear.
That defensive line for the Dolphins is stout.
Like Jonathan Taylor had some good moments last week. Obviously, he's
but that's Jonathan freaking Taylor. I mean, like Travion Henderson he's not developed. He's not proven yet.
One of the best offensive lines in the NFL. So like that's another thing that we certainly do have to take away.
Exactly. You get to push it back, and
it won't be easy for the Patriots to run the football in this game. But I think that there is strategic ways that the Patriots can find ways to open up this run game and get blockers up front a little bit more. I mean, it's going to start with your front five guys being able to get a push, but can you keep Ramondre Stevenson back a little bit more, right? Like can you put another back on the field and chip block a little bit? Can you do a little bit more misdirection? Can you add a little bit more motion? Can we see maybe a little bit more Jack Westover in this game playing fullback? Like just things like that can add another blocker and just give someone like Henderson more time to be able to kick it into second gear.
Definitely have to use more motion. We barely use motion. So not only were we not using play action last week, guys, because the run game wasn't doing anything, we also weren't using motion. We're one of the lowest in motion. Like we cannot, because what motion does is you could see what kind of coverage they're in. If you don't have motion, you're just kind of like, okay, here's the play. It is what it is. And then you have Drake Maye trying to figure out what kind of coverage they're in. Whereas if they're motioning, maybe, okay, they're in zone because they stayed where they were. Or, they jumped a little bit. They're going to they're probably blitzing. At least something, maybe throwing them off a little bit. But we didn't even do that last week.
Yeah, I think for me, what I'm looking at is I just want to see these running backs used a little bit more strategically. I'm not asking for a running back to go for 100+ yards. I'm not asking them to break off a 45+ yard touchdown. If it happens, that's absolutely amazing.
Rush the ball more than 15 times. I mean, that's what we're really asking for. So, like, at least you keep them on their heels a little bit. Not like, okay, we're completely one-dimensional, and it literally, what it happens is, the defense loads the box, and it's like, because that's what I believe the Raiders did. They load the box. They're like, okay, Drake may beat me. And just like, and especially if you're making inaccurate passes, albeit in bad weather, but football's football. Geno Smith had to throw the same footballs. We have to be able to run the football. You can't be one-dimensional.
Yeah, they got to stick with it a little bit more also. Right? Like you can't just say, all right, well, we ran the football 5 times and we averaged 1.5 to 2 yards per carry. We're just not going to do that anymore. You got to keep going with it, because in the running game, it's kind of one of those situations, and I've mentioned this in the past, where like sometimes you just have to gash that defensive line a little bit, especially in the third, fourth quarter, as long as you're not down by multiple possessions. Run the football, because that's when that defensive line should be gassed. That's when you should be able to take advantage of it a little bit more. But the other thing, too, is Josh McDaniels, don't get so damn predictable with what you're going to do. I mean,
oh my God, that vanilla offense
to the left side pretty much on every single run play that they had. They only ran the football to the right side one time last week, and we'll see
Max Crosby
running for the Patriots. But even then, here's my thing: is they got so scared of Max Crosby that they got scared of they got scared out of their game plan. I guarantee they got scared out of the game plan. They didn't let reality give them their answer. They gave themselves an answer based off of being scared. And
they took an out, man.
Trying to avoid one of the best defensive players in all of football. I get it, but let me ask you this: what if there's a world in which it worked? What if there's a world in which Max Crosby he didn't? I mean, they do it with Micah Parsons. The MO on Micah Parsons is if you run at him, not run at him because you're running at him directly, but like because an offensive lineman helps with the put, that it works. So as you said, how do we know if it's not going to work if we don't at least try? Because Travion Henderson's not a guy that just goes down. He kind of like he's a hard hitter. So I hope that this game we at least try, because we didn't even do it last game. You got 2 massive bodies on the right side. As long as Morgan Moses plays in this game, you have 2 massive bodies on the right side between Morgan Moses and Michael Onwenu. That Marcus Bryant's a big dude too. Right, a lot. he's big. I don't think his frame is as huge though. And sometimes being too tall can be a disadvantage. And obviously him being a rookie too can hurt a little bit. But
yeah, of course.
I want to see them be more strategic. And I want to see Travion Henderson bounce it to the outside, go outside of Will Campbell. That's when we saw some of the best run plays from this team, not when they're running it between Jared Wilson and Will Campbell, but bouncing it to the outside of the tackle. That's what I'd like to see, but run the football more to the right side. Be less predictable, because that's something that we've seen with this offense for so long, especially with Josh McDaniels, is they were so predictable. It bit them in the butt. And we're sitting here like, well, no, duh, because I knew what you were going to do. Rob knew what you were going to do. My grandma knew what you were going to do. So, of course, the defense knew what you were going to do. It's a lot easier to take something away defensively when I know exactly what you are going to do. Be less predictable. And I think that's how they're going to get more out of this running game. But Rob, let's go ahead. Let's transition into these wide receivers. Kayshon Boutte, like we mentioned, back-to-back games now with over 100 yards.
He told the NFL. He told him at one point, I was a first-round pick.
People forget about that. I don't.
Missed a 300-yard game against Ole Miss.
I tell people all the time, to start off 2023 at LSU, Boutte's final year, he was a projected first-round pick. But then he dealt with injuries, and he had a bad 2023 season, and the bad combine, and his stock completely
off the
dropped.
field issues, gambling, all that nonsense. He was actually at one point before pre-injury the best wide receiver in that class. That's not an argument. That's not something to debate about. He was the best receiver in that class.
Man, shout out to Linda saying that she's going to watch all of the AFC East divisional channels this week. Absolutely love that, man. Shout out, Linda. I know all of the guys from the AFC East Roundtable are going to be live this week for live watch parties.
We appreciate comments like this, Linda. We really, truly do, because we do this for you guys, seriously. And if you guys give us positive comments like this, it just gives us a reason to keep going.
With that being said, make sure everybody leaves a thumbs up on the video if you guys want to see more previews.
How many you got right now? Let's see.
Well, we got how many people watching? We have 37 live on YouTube, but we got more on Twitter. So make sure you guys leave a thumbs up on the video. It really does help support us. The better these shows do, it tells us that you guys want to see more of them all season long. So if you guys want to see these all year long, make sure you leave a big thumbs up on the video. Consider sharing and, of course, hyping up the videos also. But yeah, Kayshon Boutte, I don't think he's a wide receiver one. I let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm not saying that.
Still got to prove a lot more.
I'm not saying that leaving 2025, we don't need to go make a trade for a wide receiver one. You still do. I still think that at best, Kayshon Boutte is going to be your wide receiver too, but that's still something that this team certainly does need. So in this game, what are you looking for from this wide receiver core in general? Not even just Kayshon Boutte, but just in general.
I mean, honestly, you test these corners. We need to be able to get separation. I want to use the quick game quite a bit, to be honest, at least in the beginning, to put the defense on their toes, because I don't want them loading the box. Because what they're going to do is they're going to take a page out of the Raiders game, and they're going to load the box, and we can't have that. So that's why hopefully our run game bounces out to where our pass game will. And I don't know. Let me just say it. I hope Kyle Williams gets some run this game. I really truly do. He's the best. He was one of the best, if not the best, in man against man in college. So why not put him against a Jack Jones or Rasul Douglas? Develop that chemistry, because this is a guy that's going to be a cornerstone to our wide receiver core moving forward. I also would like to see maybe Afton Chisholm get some run. I don't think it's going to happen, because he's still he may have a redshirt year, but and maybe, just maybe, give a ball to Pop Douglas in the flat. Let him turn something into nothing. Nothing into something, because we've been hearing all off season about how this guy's he's gonna be the next big thing. He's just finally this is the year. He's got Josh McDaniels. I have not seen anything that gives me any indication he's gonna be anything more than a wide receiver 3.
I think it's just really difficult for Pop Douglas. I think he's
he's 5 foot. If he was 4 inches taller, he would be he might be a wide receiver 1. The problem is he's 5'8".
Taller, he'd be a much better wide receiver. It's just it's really hard for a lot of quarterbacks to hit a guy who is only 5'8". It's such a small target. He doesn't have a large catch radius. And when you look at Drake Maye and the type of guys that he succeeds with, like Drake Maye isn't a guy that is pinpoint accurate 24/7. He needs guys with large catch radiuses. And when you heard Mike Vrabel early on say, what are they looking for in guys this offseason to acquire? They were looking for guys offensively, weapons for Drake Maye that were good in contested catch situations. And Mike Vrabel even was quoted saying, guys who have a large catch radius. That guy's not Pop Douglas, but Pop Douglas can get open. He can be a threat. I do think that it just comes down to him and Drake Maye. They have that chemistry. We've seen it in practice. They just need to find a way to have that translate onto the field because Pop Douglas is too good of a wide receiver. He's getting open too much for him to be in negative yards currently heading into week 2. I mean, did you see that stat where it's like, dude, Pop Douglas is on pace for one of the craziest statistical years in NFL.
Negative 34 yards.
Negative 34 yards and like 17 touchdowns.
I think personally, man, I think Matt Collins for this team, I don't know what he's done. I've seen what he's done in the past. I want to use him more in the red zone. I really want to try to because I want guys like Kyle Williams stretching the field for us. I want to use our guy like that's so if you have even if you use him as a decoy, it opens everything else up for everybody else. Because now you have to at least you have to pay attention to him. Let him, even if it doesn't result in a completion, throw it deep one time to Kyle Williams where he beats a guy. Just so that it's like, okay, it's in their mind now. Holy crap, we cannot load the box. We cannot play close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they got to take shots deep down the field. Like even if something's not
I would air it out, man. This game. This is the game to do it. I know we said that last week.
I'd be surprised if Miami does ultimately stack the box and blitz a whole lot in this game. Like I know you want to get Drake Maye off platform. You want pressure in his face. That's when he's going to potentially throw those turnover worthy balls. But at the end of the day, you don't have the secondary per se. And Drake Maye likes to throw deep. So I think if I'm Miami, what I'm doing is, well, one, they didn't play a lot of man coverage last week.
Oh, they're going to play zone.
They played a lot of zone last week against the Colts. I think they only had I was on a Dolphin show earlier this week, and they said they only ran like 1 or 2 man coverage plays, so expect a lot of zone. But Drake Maye wants to go deep. That's where he's comfortable. So if you take away everything over the top, you play a lot of cover too, then you're forcing him to dink and dunk and beat you in a way that he hasn't proved he's able to do yet. So I wonder if that's the game plan for them rather than, hey, we're going to blitz Drake Maye and stack the box and send everything at him, because I do think Drake Maye is one of those guys where if he can, extend the play a little bit, like he's going to find those one-on-one matchups.
He confuses the hell out of me. He confuses the hell out of me because he cannot make the easy throws, but the most difficult throws he makes, it just doesn't make sense to me.
It's just consistency. It comes down to consistency with Drake Maye. But what I would like to see from this wide receiver core is I just want to see Stephon Diggs utilized a little bit more. I feel the majority of the game we were like, where is Stephon Diggs? And then they finally started using him in the second half, and he ends up being 3rd in receiving yards with 54, 56. So I want to see more of Stephon Diggs. And I know why maybe they were cautious and they're leaning him back into it. We should see more of Stephon Diggs, especially early on in this game than we did last week. That's the security blanket for Drake Maye. I think Stephon Diggs is a guy that this offense needs to be top 3 in receiving yards every single week. And so let's see that security blanket. Let's see if he can start doing something a little bit after the catch. But even with Stephon Diggs last week, I was really, really impressed from what I saw with him in contested catch situations, even surviving the ground. He has a defender on the back of his heel and still being able to secure the football. And I think that's something that Drake Maye needs, especially if he's going to have to get this football out quick. So that's certainly something I'm looking for from these tight ends. I'm just going to include them both in. I do think that the Miami Dolphins are going to want to take away Hunter Henry. Like if Drake Maye's not going to Kayshon Boutte, he wants to go to Hunter Henry. That's very, very obvious. I think that's Drake Maye's favorite target. But what you can do is that if they're going to take away Hunter Henry, start playing more 12 personnel, Josh McDaniels. You've done it with Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. You did it with Gronk and you did it with Martellus Bennett. Like you did it with Gronk and you did it with Dwayne
Austin
Allen.
Hooper is no slouch.
Let's see.
The boys, he's a beast.
That's what Alex Van Pelt did a lot last year because this wide receiver core was lackluster, and now it's improved. let's see more of that 12 personnel, because if they're going to double team Hunter Henry, guess what? You're going to get Austin Hooper on those one-on-one matchups. And we saw that Drake Maye has that chemistry, has that connection, not just with Hunter Henry.
He likes his tight ends.
He likes that big body up the seam in between the numbers. And you have two veteran guys, reliable guys who can do it. Let's see more of him. But Rob, let's go ahead. Let's transition into the Patriots defense against Miami's offense. Now, we did touch upon the offensive line earlier. I do think that that is an area in which the Patriots are certainly going to have to get home. Interesting fact here is that last week against the Colts, Tua had an average time to throw of 2.66 seconds. The Raiders against the Patriots last week had an average time to throw of 2.73 seconds. The Miami Dolphins offensive line is expected to be worse than it was last week. So that number should dip even more. The Patriots pass rush should be absolutely ferocious. But Rob, my question for you is, what are you expecting in this game? Because we did hear the Patriots defensive coordinator, Terrell Williams, will not be in this game. We don't know exactly what it is. Sounds like personal reasons, but he won't be here for this game. And so what are you expecting from a team that blitzed the hell out of the football last week? I mean, we had cornerback blitzes, we had safety blitzes, linebacker blitzes. What do you expect here?
I do see some more blitzes. But if I do see some more blitzes, it's going to be a little bit more smarter blitzes, because setting all out pressure is not that's not it. Look, I think we are going to possibly play a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, just because, like you said earlier, Tyreek Hill hasn't had a catch of over 30 yards in a while. I think personally, what we could do is have Carlton Davis on Tyreek Hill, have some safety help. Zach Kerr or Zach Core, how do you say he's going to be a defensive play caller according to Mike Vrabel? Look, at the end of the day, Xavier Howard kind of gave the play calling and how we should go about, and I hope that the Patriots see this or saw that, where he said basically, clog up the middle and make sure they throw the ball outside. So if we can keep them throwing the ball outside the numbers, or not what was it? Clog up the middle. Yeah, make sure they throw it, because if they do throw the ball inside, the Colts had 2 interceptions. So I personally think we should play zone. It just makes too much sense when you got guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who are 2 of the fastest receivers in football. Because if anything based off 1 week, and I know 1 week doesn't determine everything, if we could keep them outside the numbers and Tua tries to throw the ball inside, it may be put in harm's way and we can get some turnovers.
Yeah, I do think the Patriots will get at least 1 turnover defensively in this game. That is something that I do feel confident about.
It's got to happen quick, though, because Tua, the thing is about him, I'm sorry for cutting you off. The thing about Tua is we cannot let this guy get confident. And we saw what happened. Like, how many times did they go for it on 4th down against us? I think there was one play that was to Jalen Waddle. I think it was like a 4th and like 8. And they got and it was a touchdown. So, do not let this guy get comfortable. Hit him in the mouth several times, even if you have to just put your hands on him. That's one thing that Max Crosby did that it's kind of dirty. I'm not saying you don't injure Tua. I'm not saying that. But what he would do is he would kind of bump them at the end of the play, not kind of grab them. Make him know that we're there. So that way he doesn't get what happened.
Make your presence felt.
Exactly. So that way he gets a little bit rattled, like, oh crap, I maybe might speed up his internal clock. Because if this guy gets comfortable, this guy, I seen this guy operate quick, throwing the ball out quick. He has a very, very quick release. When he's accurate, he's very accurate. So that's what I'm concerned about. That's why I think we should run zone against them.
In terms of the matchups, because I think that's going to be something that Patriots fans are maybe a little bit concerned about with Gonzo out, because it's kind of like last week where if Gonzo's there, how this is going to go, but he's obviously not. So when you're looking at the Patriots secondary against Miami's offensive unit, how exactly would you go match for match?
Are you talking to me? How would I go match for match when in terms of like like I said, I think I would put Carlton.
Yeah. So like in terms of our secondary on their receivers.
I hate to say this. What do you think about putting Marcus Jones on Tyreek Hill and having safety help? Because albeit that Marcus Jones is they're almost about the same. What Tyreek Hill's 5'10", 5'11", and I know he's got a couple inches on him, but we need speed, and I don't know how I feel about Carlton Davis or Alex Austin guarding Tyreek Hill. I could kind of settle with maybe one of those two guarding Jalen Waddle, because we can't let Tyreek Hill get busy, because that's why I'm thinking that maybe put Marcus Jones and with safety help on Tyreek Hill, because I think he could possibly keep up with him or at least limit him, and then put Carlton Davis or Alex Austin on Jalen Waddle.
When I'm looking at it, I feel like what they will do is I feel like they'll probably put Carlton Davis on Tyreek Hill. I feel like that's probably what they're going to do, but
I hope
like
not.
your idea. I like your idea. I feel like what they should do is they should put Marcus Jones, because Marcus Jones is smaller, but he has that speed, and he does have good coverage.
Even if it's just being a little disruptive and throwing in time, even if it's just being disruptive and throwing the timing off.
But the thing is, right? The thing is that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they're not tall guys. They're just fast. That's how they get open. So like the height mismatch doesn't matter for them, because they're getting behind, or they're getting behind opposing defenses secondaries anyway. So it doesn't essentially matter. So I think this is a big game for Marcus Jones. What I would do is I would put Carlton Davis on Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is still a very good receiver. I don't think he's as good as Tyreek Hill. And then I would put Marcus Jones on Tyreek. And then I would put safety help over the top to try to take Tyreek away. And then what I would do is I would put Alex Austin on Julian Hill, who is the backup tight end for Miami, who's actually not bad. He's actually had some pretty good moments. And then he can kind of go size for size with Julian Hill. So that's what I would do. Personally, we'll see ultimately what they decide to do. And then you have Craig Woodson and Jalen Hawkins playing deep, who played pretty good last week. Jalen Hawkins was very inconsistent, but Craig Woodson was very, very good. And then my big thing is just, taking away that running game, because Jalen Wright maybe not in this game, but they do still have A-Chain, who is that home run threat with his speed. You have Ollie Gordon, who's certainly not fast, but I saw this man operating with my own eyes at the Senior Bowl. This guy looks like a Walmart version of Derrick Henry. I think they're going to want to utilize him a lot in short yardage situations. They're going to use him in the red zone. If they're a few yards away from knocking that baby into the end zone, you're going to see Ollie Gordon get it. And so I do think, even with their fullback in Alec Ingold, someone who Mike Vrabel pointed out by name, someone who's killed the Patriots in the past before, can kind of be used in that huge check role. Those are guys that you're certainly going to want to defend. And I think that is going to be very, very pivotal that the Patriots linebackers take a step forward after a really, really rough showing. Lots of missed tackles last week. That's definitely got to improve also. But I think that there's a few guys that I'm looking at from this defense that balled out last week that I'm expecting to have another good week this week. And I wanted to show here, let me pull it up real quick. I think we still got the injury report up, but these were the top and highest graded Patriots last week, according to PFF. And Rob, I saw you post this, so I want to make sure that I pull it up and give you your credit here. Is that top 6 highest graded Patriots against the Raiders? You had Kyrie's Tonga. Okay. Nobody expected Kyrie's Tonga to take over the way that he has. I think he's going to be huge in this game. Highest graded Patriot last week with an overall grade of
He's a run clogger, dude.
He's a run clogger, but that's what he's been known
space
for.
Clogger.
But Rob, he was dominant this offseason in pass rush, and dominant also last week in pass rush also. This is not a one-dimensional guy. Kyrie's Tonga, and I'm not saying he's a guy that you want to put out there, 70% of the defensive snaps or anything, but this guy has more pass rush than we thought. And he was actually asked about that. They were like, look, I'm not trying to disrespect you, but I didn't see this on your film. What changed for you that allowed to add that pass rush aspect to your game? And he was like, I'm going to be honest, I don't know. It was the best answer. He was like, I don't even know what happened. It just, I got here and something clicked for me. And I think that was huge, because with Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, you had questions on how they would be able to defend the run, and they actually did pretty well last week. But Kyrie's Tonga was your guy on the interior of the D-line that could defend the run, and now he gives you some of that ability also at getting to the quarterback. So I think the interior of this D-line is going to be huge for the Patriots. You look at Kyrie Tonga, like we said, he had a big game. Christian Barmore also had a big game. Milton Williams had a really good game last week. 8 pressures there in the interior of the defensive line, over a 20% pass rush win rate, according to PFF. And you look at it. You look at the 6 highest graded Patriots players, and 3 of them are interior defensive linemen. They are going to be pivotal to put that pressure on Tua, but also make sure that he's not sitting there with time in the pocket. Flush him outside, force him to throw on the run, force him to do something, take away his first read. That is when this Patriots defense can thrive. The issue with this defense over the last few years when playing Miami and playing Tua is that they give Tua time in the pocket. And if you give Tua time in the pocket, you give Tyreek and you're going to give Waddle time to get open with their speed. Like, yeah, Tua's going to pick you apart. They're going to get splash plays down the field. They're going to kill you. They're going to dominate time of possession. It's one thing to get pressure off the edge because Tua has proven he will step up into the pocket and deliver a quick throw, especially with the receiving cast he has. But with the interior pressure, that is what is proven to flush him out. That's what the Colts were able to do this past week. That is the blueprint for the New England Patriots. And somebody like Craig Woodson, who dominated last week, he's one of the highest graded safeties so far through week 1 in the NFL, according to PFF. He was really good in coverage, taking away plays over the top, but he was also really dominant in helping to defend the run. He's also going to be a pivotal piece for this Patriots defense.
They look good, man. They looked really. There was plenty of times where I saw that they got a lot of pressure, and that was a good Raiders offensive line. So
it was like the Raiders. I'm not saying they're an elite offensive line.
No,
like,
I'm not saying they're elite, but they're good.
Raiders are like the 20th best offensive line in the league. They're a middle of the pack offensive line. They're not great. They're not elite. But that is a good offensive line. Miami is a significantly worse offensive line.
I'm telling you right now, bro, if they don't figure something out on the right side, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a freaking field day. You guys can clip this, whatever you want to do. It's going to be a freaking field day. Just watch.
Harold Landry leads the NFL in sacks. I'm expecting him to continue
and
to
pressures.
lead the NFL in sacks.
And pressures. It's not even just sacks. He's 8 pressures. Do you know how insane that is? He has 8 pressures.
You want to know something more insane, Rob? 16 pressures between 2 players last week for the Patriots. Between Milton Williams and Harold Landry, they had 16 pressures.
Hey, so far, both of them kind of living up to those contracts.
No, yeah, they really are. I mean, look, it's only week 1, and we know that. But so far,
we know, but like
Rob, you expect that with time, the defense will get better because of chemistry.
I didn't expect Tonga to do what he did.
See, I thought he was going to be good coming into the regular season. After
not that good,
but being the highest graded Patriot, like what? Nobody saw that. I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that you had your money on that. That was on no one's bingo card. Kyrie Tonga, highest graded Patriot last week against the Raiders, man. Absolutely insane. But I want to get into a couple here of these super chats. And then, Rob, we have one more thing to hit on before we log off. And that's just going to be, I want to know your thoughts on the special teams because they did struggle last week. And so we'll touch upon that and then we'll wrap up the show. But diehard Pats fan in here with a big $10 donation said, I'm glad I made it to the live for a bit, but still going to have to be part of the rewatch party. Hey, nothing wrong with the rewatch party, baby. We keep the shows up for a reason. Now, I know everybody can't watch the live shows back. That's perfectly fine, but that's why we leave it up for you guys to be able to go back and watch the entirety of the show. Colby and Rob are the best Patriots content creators out here. Great work, guys, man. We really, really appreciate that.
Guys, comments like this, man. Like
that's why we do it.
Seriously.
That's why we do it. There's a reason that me and Rob said, we've been doing post games the last couple of years, but people want more. And I asked you guys, I said, do you guys want to see previews of these games every single week?
Hey,
and
guys, if you want
with Rob, I was like, okay.
If you want to see this blow up, start sharing it, liking it up, tell your grandmother, tell everybody. What happened?
YouTube has a new feature. It's called Hype. So if you guys have any hype, make sure to hype up the video.
You want to see us on NFL Network one day? Come on, put this out there.
NFL Network wants us already, man. And we're just playing
exactly.
Hardball. We're just playing hardball. So.
Sure.
I'm trying to get that Milton Williams contract. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, just let me hold $1.
Yeah, just give me $100 bill. We'll be good. We'll call it a day. Shout out to Fancy, though, who comes in with a $5 donation and said, Waddle is my biggest scare since he always beats us. Does he have an injury? If not, don't you think we should put Alex Austin on him? So he does. He does have issues beating the Patriots. We take away Tyreek, and then it's like, oh, well, it doesn't matter because you just had Jalen Waddle beat you, who can play as a wide receiver one. Like, I think people forget that this guy is a 1,000
He's freaking good.
I wouldn't put Alex Austin on him just because in this game specifically, when it comes to the secondary against their receivers, it's not a height mismatch. That's not the problem. The problem is speed. And Alex Austin, I'm not trying to say he's slow, but I think what you want to do is you want to put your fastest receivers on their fastest receivers. And if they were like 6'1", I'd be saying, okay, we have a different discussion now. But they're both sitting in that 5 foot range, like 5'10" roughly. So with that being said, you put Carlton Davis on one of them, and then you put Marcus Jones on the other one. Arguably your two fastest cornerbacks, and now you should be good. So personally, I wouldn't. As for Waddle dealing with an injury, he was on the injury report earlier, Fancy. We did talk about that in the beginning of the show, so I do recommend going back and rewatching just so you kind of have an updated thought and just breakdown of what his practice week looked like. But
hey, Mike, thank you. I appreciate you, Mike. I know he's probably it's not gonna be something that's gonna be in the super chat. Congrats on the baby. Appreciate you, brother.
Daddy Rob, man. Daddy Rob. I still can't believe you have a kid, man. Like,
she's gonna be 2 months old on the 18th, which is nuts. I know I'm kind of breaking up what you're saying, brother.
Rob's past it. Like I always hear parents say that. They're like, dude, time flies by so fast.
Yeah, Don, I don't want her to get older, man. I want her to stay small.
Man, still can't believe you're a dad. I feel old. I feel old. Like me
we've been doing this. How long have we been doing this? 5 years?
I was a sophomore in high school when you and I met, and now I'm about to be 24. I want you to know that.
Hey guys, we've been following each other since we had like 3,000-4,000 followers each. And now
started our accounts when we met.
now he has what, like 20 something thousand, and I have literally I have nearly 32,000. So we're growing, man. Busting our butts over here, trying to be the best Patriots content creators out there.
Absolutely insane, man. Shout out to my boy Keaton Rob. What do you think about this? Connor asks, how many sacks do the Patriots get Sunday? We had 4 last week.
They're getting at least 5. I'm not joking. Like that right side is actually a problem, dude. Listen to listen to this. He gave up 8 pressures and 3 sacks in the preseason. Their right guard. He also he's 1 year removed from ACL tear. Like, please, for the love of God, test that right side. Test that right side.
I'm just gonna eat, bro.
Well, if you don't have confidence in Christian Barmore, who usually lines up on the right side, their right side, then maybe put Milton Williams over there. Imagine that.
Barmore didn't statistically ball out last week per se, but I thought that he played really.
This could be a breakout game.
I thought Christian Barmore, the way he played last week, allowed everybody else to be opened up. Like, if you go back and you really look at it, Christian Barmore was winning a lot of his reps in his one-on-one matchups. Like, he was getting double-teamed already. Like, I think teams are looking at this defensive line for the Patriots, and they're saying, Christian Barmore and Milton Williams, that's a two-headed monster, but I think they're saying that the more scary guy is Barmore.
I mean, he's first game back, and 77.5 PFF grade. And look, it doesn't always have to show up on the stat sheet, people. He's definitely doing his. PFF says he's doing pretty damn well.
Agreed. Well, Rob, just final thoughts here, real quick. I know there's not too much to talk about, but special teams was really, really disappointing. It's only week one. This was a squad that was ranked second in special teams units last year. Made a big turn from being one of the worst in 2023 and 2022. Just all up and down the board, it just felt horrific. In every special teams phase you can think, I thought that the Gunners weren't doing as well as we saw, in the preseason. I thought that Andy Borgales missed field goal. Obviously, he bounced back, which is good, but still not exactly what you want. Bryce Behringer, in the most inopportune moment, like a 25 yard.
He scares me a bit, by the way, Bryce. I feel like he's inconsistent as hell. And Borgales, if he would have made the first field goal, we would have been able to at least go for the touchdown at the end of the game instead of kicking the field goal. So that kind of was a punch. That was a kind of slap in the face.
I literally said this is going to cost us during my live watch party, and it did cost us. I'm not saying it cost us the game necessarily, but we would have ran a very different type of offense. We would have ran a very different type of offense given what the situation was. But I agree. Look, I'm just looking for an overall bounce back from the special teams. I want to see that Andy Borgales can hit on all of his field goals and extra points and not have a miss. I want to see that he can build up that confidence. I want to see Bryce Behringer not be a liability, build that consistency. And I just want to see this special teams make Tua on multiple occasions go the length of the field. Don't give them a short field. Don't put them on the 40. Don't put them on the 35 consistently. Like, make them go the length of the field, and that is how you're going to limit the amount of points that they put up. And this offense is a work in progress. So I think early on in the season, that's definitely what you want to do. You want to make sure that you limit opposing offenses from putting as least amount of points up on the board as humanly possible. But Rob, I think it's going to wrap it up here for today. Any last thoughts before we log off?
Josh McDaniels, please open up the playbook. Like, let's not do this crap. Like, I get you want to kind of ease Drake Maye into it, but for the love of God, open up the playbook.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
like I was literally almost borderline predicting every damn play. That's not good.
I know that we're not going to open up the entirety of the playbook. We're not going to show our full hand now, but we just can't.
Go to page 2. Go to page 2.
Go to page 2. Open up another page. You know
I feel like we're still kind of in the prologue. Was it prologue? Is that the word?
Yeah. Well, we don't need 17 pages, right? We don't need all 17 pages that we're going to see this season, but maybe we get, not just one page. Maybe we can get a. Can
we please mix it up? I want to see a trick play. Hell, we haven't, like, Josh McDaniels is known for trick plays. Use a trick play, like one. Just give me one.
We saw a lot of misdirection though last week. That's something that I'm expecting to see a lot from Josh McDaniels.
Do some jet sweeps, bro. Like
Pop Douglas.
God, use what you did in the past. I feel like, and use Drake Maye's legs, please.
He had use his legs. Quarterback designed run this past week.
Don't,
because we're gonna see this at some point. We always see it at least one time, and I'm not saying we're gonna see it in this game, but who do you think out of these wide receivers gets that opportunity when we see that Drake Maye tosses it off to a running back, and then the running back tosses it off to the wide receiver, and then he passes downfield to Drake Maye or another wide receiver? Like, who's the guy that throws the football? It can't be
Kyle Williams. Right? Kyle Williams was a quarterback in I believe he was a quarterback in high school. Then he went to, I forget what college he went off to, and then the guy told him to play wide receiver.
Okay, so Kyle Williams. I mean, it used to be Jacoby Myers, not anymore.
And not even just that.
Not anymore.
And not even just that. Him being a threat with being able to run the football once it's in his hands is also definitely something to note. So, like, you have to account for his legs, and I'm not gonna say he can at least throw it like Jacoby Myers did for that one touchdown to, what was it, Cam Newton? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can do that. Hell, bring that play back. I believe that was Cam Newton. I believe it was a toss to Jacoby Myers, and then he passed the ball to Cam Newton. Was it Cam Newton? Oh God, please! Someone tell us in the chat.
No, in 2020, I remember that play. I think it was Cam handed the ball off to the running back, and then the running back tossed it off to Jacoby, and Jacoby, while he was in motion, then threw the ball to a wide open Cam Newton in the end zone. And it was like the corner.
Look at that, taking that encyclopedia over here.
I remember that, man. That was a beautiful. I actually think
about that play. Do that freaking play at least once.
All right, guys. But look, that is going to wrap it up for today's preview. New England Patriots Week 2 in Miami. First road game of 2025. Look, Rob, we know what the stats are. And I'm not saying the Patriots need to make the playoffs this year. That's not the expectation. But if a team does go 0-2, it is really, really hard to make the postseason at that point. So in a lot of ways, a get right game, a must get right game for both of these teams. But let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow your boy here on YouTube at Patriots Global. Make sure you guys check out my other social medias, TikTok at Patriots Global, Twitter at Patriots Global, Instagram at Patriots Global. We touched upon it earlier. We touch upon it pretty much every single show. Make sure you guys check out Rob on Instagram. That handle right there, Patriots7 on Instagram.
So close to 32K.
Best damn Patriots content on
He's just
Instagram,
hyping me up, y'all.
From interviews to Rob breaking down his thoughts to statistics, graphics, all that good stuff, guys. Go.
If you ever need a hype man, this guy right here.
It's not even hype. It's just the truth, guys. Go check out Rob. I want you guys to comment all in his comment section. Hey, saw you from YouTube. Patriots Global sent me. That's what I want to see in the comments, man. Go give Rob some love, man. We will be back here. We'll all be back.
I'll follow you back. If you follow me I'll follow you back. Just let me know you came from here.
Yeah, so if you let Rob know, hey, I'm coming from YouTube, from Patriots Global, Rob will even give you a follow back, man. And Rob's good with the DMs too, I will say. So make sure you guys give him a follow. We will be back. Maybe I'll drop a video tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what the schedule's like. But if not, definitely we'll be back. Live watch party, 1 p.m. on Sunday, New England Patriots versus Miami Dolphins. And then, of course, later on Sunday night, Rob and I will be back to break down everything that we saw in that game and hopefully a Patriots win. But subscribe on your way out. Leave a like on your way out. But until next time, we appreciate you guys so much for watching. And go Pats, baby.
Go Pats.